For most of my carp fishing to date, I've fished day ticket or club lakes, and certainly all of my YouTube videos over the last 6 years of doing this have centred around that type of water. I've been desperately searching for a new challenge in the form of a syndicate water, which generally offer quieter banks and a more relaxed atmosphere. As most carp anglers know, syndicate tickets can be hard to come by, and after being on several waiting lists for 3 years, I finally got the email I was waiting for. So I paid the membership and started prepping my gear and doing research for my first session, which would hopefully help me decide what gear to take. The morning finally came, and I got an early ferry from the Isle of Wight to the mainland where my new adventure would begin.
To turn slightly right onto M275. Your destination is on the right.
As I went through the gate, I was pleasantly surprised to see an empty car park and took my time walking around to get a feel for the place and hopefully find some fish. I decided on a swim fairly near the car park that offered access to the good near and far margin features, and also a few bubbles in open water hinted that there may have been a few fish around. Once the rods were prepped, I set about leading around to get a feel for the swim and work out distances to the spots. Simple pop-up tactics and a good scatter of mainlines link and sell were my starting tactics, not wanting to overcomplicate things on my first session. Rods were deployed to my clip-top marks, and all that was left to do was take in the atmosphere and enjoy the peace and tranquility that this lake offered. first night on a new water is always really exciting. I've got all my rods out now, everything went smoothly. Just fishing over to some pads on the far side. I've got one on the near side, just off to the right where there's some pads, and then 2 rods out over to the far side. Little scattering of cell boilies over the top, and my usual withy pool pop-up rigs. Keeping it simple. Don't want to overcomplicate things this early on a new water. Just sticking to what I know. And hopefully, fingers crossed, that's all it takes to land one of these big carp from a new syndicate. So yeah, let's see what the night brings. Well, we're off the mark, would you believe it? First fish from a new water is always really a relief when you don't really know what works. It's nice to get one early on my first session. We've still got the night to go, so let's get this one back. It's £21 by the way, and hopefully get the rod back out sweet, and maybe there's time for more. As soon as that fish was put back, the rain came, making getting the rod back out a challenge. But it finally eased just before dark, and I went into the first night feeling confident. I awoke a little surprised to have not caught any more, and I was just starting to think about packing up as I would be heading to Norfolk for a filming job today. But then, just when I thought my session was over, I've just managed a really old, long common. It's well spawned out, you can tell because it's really skinny on the back end. But there you go. That's £23.5. Stunning old long common, full of character, and a nice way to end my first session on my new syndicate. I think I'm going to enjoy it down here.